You are my shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink. Your gentle hand, even when I can't understand, I know your voice. I'm not afraid, walking with me at the same pace.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. Good morning, everybody. This is Dave Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I want to first thank you all for coming in this morning on this morning's Q&A. I really appreciate you taking your time to this morning to be a part of this Q&A to help show support to everything I'm doing here in Arizona in search of my son, Daniel. Daniel's geologist, graduated from College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. My son graduated with honors. He decided to come out to Arizona to make Arizona his home, to expand his horizons, to advance his career. He landed his first job here in Phoenix, Arizona, with a company called Matrix New World, also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. Daniel's job is he's got hired on as a field geologist, is also called a hydrogeologist. And the reasons why, because he go out to various well sites in Arizona, to check those viability of wells. A drilling company comes in and build these wells. Daniel company goes in and, like I say, check the viability of the wells. They hire geologists to do so. Daniel, on his job, he go out there and pull rock samples out of the water, out of those wells as well, have those tested as well as, like I said, to determine, him being a scientist, to determine if that well itself could produce at least 100 years of water. That's something that's required by law here in Arizona. These communities, when they're built, they have to have those wells to be able to, to be some type of backup. So his job is very important to make sure people have enough water there to have, drinkable water at that. So those waters, like I said, had to be tested. Daniel had done his job on that day, on June the 23rd. Like he always do, he get his work assignments on his work computer, work laptop. He went to 2 well sites that day, allegedly. The first well site was roughly around 7 o'clock that morning. And as you know, you guys, and I had to do it based on the update that I had to put there a couple weeks now. You guys know that my son made a phone call at 9:30 that morning for the second well site. We don't know. The story was given to me and my family by the Buckeye Police Department, as well as the guy who last seen my son at the well site, saying my son arrived at the well site around 9 o'clock that morning and left around 9:15. Again, like you guys know, like I said, when I put out the information last 2 weeks ago, you guys know that Daniel, the timeline don't match the phone call. Of course, Daniel made a phone call at 9:28 that morning, and from what I can tell, to pretty much get directions to that location. One thing I want to tell you guys, again, I've been here since June 26th searching for my son. And one thing I want to tell you guys, since I've been here, I reached out to the community. The community had reached back, made sure you guys have been being champions, coming out to the searches that I created out there in the desert. Saying been backing me. I had some guys also in the community that helped me through things like coordinate and things like that, and logistics and things like that. So really grateful for you guys taking your time out to help along with my efforts to find my son. And also, guys have been praying. You guys have been donating. You guys have been doing a lot. So I really appreciate that. I want to put that up front. But for those who haven't heard about my son's story, of course, yes, he was at that well site. The story is that he left that well site and he was missing since that time. My son's vehicle was found almost 30 days after June the 23rd. It was found on July the 19th by a rancher out there in the desert, farther out in the desert, almost 3 miles away from the original site, well site where he allegedly have been. So, that was very troubling for me and my family up front. So you guys can look at this scene right here. There was a different picture that the Buckeye Police Department gave me up front. The picture was nothing like this one, or similar to this, but not like this, not much detail. But the officer at the time, the detective at the time, did explain the picture that he gave me. What he told me was my son's vehicle was found some miles away from deeper into that desert in the ravine, the 20-foot ravine. He gave me 2 maps to show me the location in terms of from the Sun Valley Parkway Road there, side road to the location where the vehicle was found. And he also explained to me, once he showed me the pictures, that my son's vehicle had rolled over and flipped and twisted and landed on the side. But the good thing was my son didn't sustain any injuries because they didn't see any blood in the vehicle. But he did explain to me that, of course, the rancher found it. The first one thing he told me, but at the same time, he told me that, he didn't sustain an injury, but they believe he had a head injury, a severe head injury. He kicked his way out the sunroof, and that's where the glass came out of the sunroof. He kicked his way out of the sunroof, and once he got out the vehicle, he shredded his clothing, because when you have a brain injury, it causes you to shred your clothes. Of course, he didn't know at the time, as he was telling me that story, I myself had a brain injury from Afghanistan, and I haven't never had a desire or anything like that to shred my clothing. So just to hear that story, that was really hard for me to understand that. But nevertheless, there was the officer telling me what they believe happened at the time. That's the whole thing I can go by. You guys can see the clothing on the ground here behind me in the picture. He explained to me that the clothing was 3 feet away from the vehicle. Everything he was wearing his body. He asked me, did my son wear boxers or briefs? I thought that was strange for him to ask me that. Daniel's a grown man. I wouldn't know what my son is wearing on his clothing. But he said, well, everything from his socks, underwear is on the ground in a pile. His safety vest was another foot away from that pile, and his boots was recovered as well on the scene. So you guys, and then he went to the details of telling me some of the other things that's found in the vehicle, the cell phone, his wallets in those pants, and things like that. So, of course, it's puzzling to me. His idea about these situations is that my son, I may have some technical difficulties as well. If you guys see a pause, I am seeing some little fluctuations there. But he also told me that he believed that my son, after he shredded his clothes off, because it make you feel hot as well, having a brain injury, that he went and hid on a tree somewhere to rest, and he probably succumbed to his injuries, or a wild animal got him. He later described to me that he's seen situations like this before, where families think their loved one is missing. He went to tell me a story about some lady who family thought she was missing. Turns out that she decided to become a monk. Become a nun. He said, well, not necessarily saying that about you, Daniel, but your son probably have left and wanted to leave your family, wanted to be by himself and join a monastery, become a monk. So when I heard those things, in combination of the things that didn't make sense at what he described to me at the scene, and from the one picture that they gave me at the time, none of that made sense to me. None of that, especially the monk situation, was offensive. And so that caused me to want to get my own private investigator. Of course, you guys know I did hire a private investigator who found a lot of information about this vehicle. It was right at the time that after I had the meeting with the Buckeye Police Department, where First of all, the vehicle was found on July the 19th. They turned the vehicle over to me on July the 20th. I had that meeting a couple days after that, which the detectives then, after that meeting, gave me everything that was found on the scene in evidence bags marked for safekeeping. They told me they had more leads to follow. They put that also on their Facebook page. But like I said, when I hired my investigator, I gave all those items over to him directly. I never opened those items. Gave it to him just the way they gave it to me. The vehicle, I had it pulled. Of course, it was sitting at the police department because I had to force them to do some fingerprinting at least on that vehicle. They said they were going to do so, and once they finished with that, they released it back to me again. And so from that point, I took the vehicle. Like I said, my investigator had it moved to a different location, and we went from there. But like I said, he found a lot of information about that vehicle, and everything like I expected. And his thought of the vehicle from his expertise, this looked like a staged event. There was no reason for my son's vehicle to be there. It wasn't sitting there for 30 days, according to the rancher. It also wasn't sitting there for 30 days, according to the Buckeye Police Department, because they themselves did their first initial search for Daniel almost 3 days after he went missing. On that search, they say they used the Phoenix Firebird helicopter. So the Phoenix Police Department, according to Buckeye, came out there to search in the same exact area, and the vehicle wasn't there. They didn't find anything. They didn't find anything out there. According to the Buckeye Police Department. And then their second search was almost 2 weeks later with a Silver Air Patrol. Silver Air Patrol came out here and searched this area on ground. They searched this area by air, and it wasn't there. So the vehicle wasn't there for 30 days by the efforts and the work of the Buckeye Police Department to say it wasn't there, as well as the rancher who found the vehicle because he was there 2 to 3 days prior to July the 19th, and he says that vehicle wasn't there. So you guys can also know that the Buckeye Police Department tried to tell me that they believe it was there because it was a hard hit filled with water, rainwater. But as you know, you guys, I explained to you guys before, there's only one window that's actually missing out that vehicle. The other is a panel. The sunroof is only a panel. There's no glass there, but only glass is broken out is the one on the driver's door. The hard hat was in the back seat. It was impossible for water to reach that. So that was pretty much staged as well. Had a card in there that didn't dissolve. It just appear that, like I said, that's supposed to be rainwater. It's according to what the Buckeye Police Department told me, but that's not true. So you guys, it's a lot of information that I have found myself. I've been doing, also investigating myself, what happened to my son. I started as soon as I got here on the ground, a few days after got on the ground really quickly. The first thing I did in my investigation was to go straight to the Buckeye Police Department to help as much as I can, and also ask all the questions I can while I was traveling up here to Arizona. And as well, like I said, once I got my boots on the ground, I went to talk to the man, Ken, at the well site to hear his testimony, hear what he had to say about the story. I did relay to the Buckeye Police Department the changes in his story. They chose to ignore that. The facts of that, I have witnesses along with me, but they chose to ignore that and choose what they want to in their report and put in what they want to put in without actually vetting this man's story, without vetting his entire movements. Didn't even grab his cell phone to see if these things that he said was true. This is the last one that seen my son according to what he said, and some of those things wasn't even done until this date. So you guys can understand the reason why my frustration is when I listen to a change of story, when I listen to some of the things I hear from the Buckeye Police Department that don't make sense, and the reason why I was constantly asking you guys. I tried to get FBI involved. A lot of that failed. Tried to get the some other law enforcement agencies and went to Attorney General's office, to you name it, to try to get some things changed. So, of course, I'm fighting and constantly fighting for that. But I do have some good news for you guys, and I can't share right now, but some things did happen. Today is fast and prayer for Daniel. You guys, I have on the 23rd, yesterday, was another month that Daniel has been missing, over a year now. And excuse me. And, like I said, every month is very hard for me and my family. I want y'all to continue to pray for his mother, pray for his siblings, pray for my entire family, because every time, I'm sure everybody's going through going through this thing with their own way. One of the things I'm going through with this situation is to be on the ground, working hard as I can to try to find my son, working as hard as I can to work with law enforcement. When I say I working with law enforcement guys, you got to understand I am doing a whole lot of stuff in the background to try to make sure I get my son's case moving properly and to where it need to be at, and also to get some things done, that need to be done. For instance, the forensic work, I'm still working on that stuff. You guys have heard things out there in the social media world. People been offering me help. I did not receive those help, but I did get in contact with those people who said they was offering help, and so I'm talking with those people as well. But but this is the first time that I've been hearing about that. Nobody came to me directly and say, "Hey, I want to help you with forensics." So those are things that I'm working on right now. Still constantly working on the forensics as well, and I'm really proud to say that, like I said, all the hard work, my team and myself as well, all the hard work that's been done. You guys been praying, things you guys have been doing, making these phone calls, pushing the department. All that is helping towards everything I'm trying to do to make sure that my son's justice is done, his justice served, to make sure that he get the proper investigation as well. So like I said, some great things are happening. Today is fast and prayer for Daniel. And like I said, I believe in prayer, I believe in fasting. And today, we're going to usher in that today. I told you guys on the Wednesday, close to the 23rd, and this is the day that we have the fast and prayer. I will usher that in with the prayer before in the morning to usher it in for those who want to join in with me and my team on the fast and prayer, because I believe in that, like I said. And if you want to join in, I will usher that in with a prayer this morning. And once I usher that in with the prayer, we'll go on today with our fast prayer. I'll lead us on between you and God, how long you want to do it and things like that. But I will usher that in by a prayer. And then this evening's Q&A, we'll end it with the prayer as well. And but like I said, you guys could continue on with the fast and prayer, or you can, stop along with the prayer that I will be doing from the beginning and also the ending. But please put the hashtag there. I've seen some people put it there already. I really appreciate that. The hashtags fast and prayer for Daniel. It's not just for Daniel. Like I said, the fast and prayer is also for other families, because this is not unique to the Robinson family that they have a loved one that's missing. So you guys, I have been here, like I said, fighting for Daniel, but also try to fight for other people as well. Fight for other families. We have missing Indigenous women all over Arizona and other states, and also in Canada. You guys got to understand that this thing is really big. It's a lot of communities affected, a lot of people are affected, and we want to make sure we pray for them as well, and try to get everything we can to try to help them highlight what happened to their loved one. Again, because of that, we have a day of remembrance that's coming up right here on September 10th. I want you guys to always put that in your calendar, first of all, to remember that date. If you can come in, join in, definitely want you to come out there to help support the families that will come out there, that's coming out to highlight their loved one's story, to talk about their loved one's story, to pass out their flyers, things like that. So I would be there, of course, with my flyers to pass out to you guys as well, to talk about Daniel as well, to be able to discuss with other families, to share common things together, and also take advantage of the resources that'll be out there for those families, for my family as well. Take advantage of the resources that'll be there. Asking you guys who don't have people missing your family to open up your heart. If you can come out on the day of remembrance, to please come out there and support the families. We need your support. We definitely need your support out there. And if you can, would like to see you out there. Please come out there to support. Please go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and hit the events tab. That'll take you to Eventbrite, or you can go directly to eventbrite.com and look up a day of remembrance and RSVP. We want you to RSVP so we can know who all coming. And if you don't RSVP, we want you to come out anyway. So, but we'd like to know how many people are coming. So if you can RSVP, that will help out tremendously as well. So, but if you're a family who want to come out and share your loved one's story, you want to talk about your loved one's story, you want to pass out your flyers, get your information out there, and take advantage of the resources, please contact us by going to pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com. please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. And, that way you can reserve your spot. So we want to make sure that you actually have a place there to be a part of the Day of Remembrance. So definitely want to get your loved one story out there. Like I said, this thing is bigger than my family. It's bigger than Daniel. It's bigger than me. And want to make sure that we help other families as well. But this morning, I'm going to start off this day of a fast and prayer for Daniel. And I want you guys, whoever want to join in with me with this prayer, like I said, I definitely want to pray and ask God for some things and really put out what I need from God, and also what I would like to see for other families. I'm also asking you guys, like I said, who want to join in with me to go ahead and bow your heads with me and pray for these families, pray for my family, and we'll go from that point. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this prayer, and I guess you guys can join in with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We thank you for bringing us together, Lord, in one place, in one mind, one thought. And we come together to ask you and petition you, Lord, petition you to help these families who have missing loved ones out there, who look for answers, who look for directions, who looking to find their loved ones. We ask you to give the answers they're looking for, give them the closures that they need, Heavenly Father, because we know how hard and difficult it is. I know how hard it is for my family. I'm asking for the same thing, Lord. If you can, give me directions, give me the wisdom and the strength. Lord Jesus, I've been out here since for an entire year, over a year, doing the same thing, trying to find Daniel. I have gotten some answers. I really appreciate that. I'm really grateful for the things I have accomplished since I've been here, being able to help other families as well. I ask you, Heavenly Father, to help continue that effort to keep going, to make it a lot bigger, to help other families. We have a Day of Remembrance that's coming. Ask you, Heavenly Father, to bless that as well as the foundation, Daniel Robinson Foundation, to grow, to be able to help other families as well. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to reach out to those families, like I said, who have missing loved ones, who's right now listening to my voice, who have those prayers and the same desires and those ideas. They really need to find their loved ones. We ask you to help put them in the right place at the right time to be able to find those loved ones. Also, for those who have a big heart, who has been given all of their time, who have been given money, who have been doing everything they can possibly to support this effort and other efforts to people who have missing loved ones. We ask you to bless them as well. Bless them according to their hearts. Bless them in their life. They have many needs themselves. You know what their needs are. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to please bless them as well. We thank you right now. On this fast prayer, we come together, like I say, in unity. We come with one mind. We say 2 or 3 are gathered in your name. You're in the midst. I want to thank you right now for being here and answering our prayers. We thank you. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen. All right. Thank you guys for joining in with me as a prayer. Like I said, again, I really do believe in prayer. So you guys can definitely say amen with me. Amen. I really thank you guys for being here. I want to say something real quick. I want to get to everybody here on the chat line. I do have some in the YouTube side as well as here on the StreamYard. I want to tell you, thank you all. Thank you. Like I said, thank you guys for being supportive. You got this channel up to 1,000 subscribers. I told you some things that I do come with the benefits that come with having 1,000 subscribers. I have never gotten to that point to be able to, I did last night. I was unable to get to the point of utilizing some of those resources that's there because, I'm so busy. I did have Gisela K. She's in the background. You guys probably don't know. I say it often. Just because you don't see her in the chat, so you don't see her just speaking out, but I speak out for her. She's a modest person. She's definitely gonna do some things in the background, but she does a lot of stuff when it comes to YouTube. Like I said, she always makes sure that I have the templates there, for lack of words. Also, like I said, just teaching me all kinds. She give me videos and things like that, how to better use the YouTube platform. And I'm really grateful for her. Like I said, I told her what I was trying to do. She helped me start off this YouTube channel, but she's still in the background. But one thing she had told me also as well, as you guys can look in the YouTube chat there, you might see on the bottom there, it's a $ button there. That's one of those things I forgot to call it now. Don't slip out of my mind, but super chats. Those are super chats or something like that. You guys can utilize that button as well. That button, of course, is something that will also help towards my efforts here in Arizona. You guys, if you want to be able to use that as well. So I'm still add some little things here and there to this YouTube channel.
And so you see those things, that's what that is. I want to make sure you guys know what that is on the bottom and the reasons why. I do see it there now on the chats for the YouTube side. I don't know if you guys can see that on the Facebook side and the Twitter, but it's definitely there for the YouTube side. So thank you guys. I want to say up front, thank you so much, like I said, for getting this channel to where it is. And also the channel is able to reach out to more people. You know what I'm saying? You guys continue to like, subscribe, and share this channel, because like I said, there's a lot of work still to have to be done towards like getting the story out there, keep Daniel's story going. So I really want to say thank you also for everybody I see right now putting the fast and prayer for Daniel hashtag there. If you guys can use that on your YouTube channels or your Facebook, all your social media channels, I really appreciate it if you can. Again, definitely thank you for the support. I want to have to say, if you guys have a tip, anybody right now listening, I've been asking this since day one. You know what happened to Daniel, definitively. You have those answers there directly. I've started this tip line. You guys see on the bottom, scroll on the tip on the bottom there. Started this tip line just for that person or persons who know. I think I didn't put the number there. I see the number's missing, but I had to get the number put on there. Oh yeah, still there. Okay, good. The thing is, I started that tip line for you, the person who knows those answers. It's for no one else. It's not for people who have suggestions and things like that. I really appreciate those suggestions. That reserve that for the public cell phone number or the email. You guys, that's what I reserve that for, and also here on the chats. But those persons, the person who actually know what happened to Daniel, who have detailed information and really know and been a part of it, or have directly seen what happened to my son, can use that tip line. I pay for that. You guys can use that tip line as a tip line that's 24 hours, 7 days a week. That's live operators to take your call. Like I said, you could remain anonymous. If you just don't want to talk to that operators, which they are very nice, which, like I said, we'll make sure that you get your tip in if you want to be anonymous, without knowing who you are. If you don't want to talk to anyone, you still text the word tip to the same phone number, and you still can remain anonymous if you like. You don't have to talk to anyone. You can go farther than that. If you want to assure yourself of being anonymous, which you would be, just being anonymous, you can go farther than that by getting a burner phone. You can buy those indie plates and text the word tip to that phone number and give your tip, and let me know what happened. Let my family. I've been here, like I say, I've been here for an entire year, trying to find Daniel. It's time to come clean. It's time to speak out. It's time to give those answers that my family and myself we need. So, and the public, there's a big public interest here. Daniel case went national, and there's a very big public interest as well. If you guys can definitely, definitely say something that would help everybody out. So, also, like I said again, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. Definitely need those algorithms to keep going and continue to be able to spread the story, as well as other families. I should have had a family on this evening. The family had decided they had to postpone again. They will let me know in the future when they will be coming on the Q&A. It's very hard, you guys, and I've been saying they'll have family, going to have families here on YouTube on this Q&A for a while, and I'm telling you guys, it's not easy. Just because you see me here on the YouTube, and I say it often, it's many times I don't want to be here on screen, because it's painful. It's painful when you have to constantly tell the story over and over again, especially when you know things and you have to pretty much say things based on what's out there in the public. And also just the fact that your loved one is missing, and all the thing you can think about every day is trying to find your loved one. So it's not really, really easy. And so I understand that when families find it hard to make themselves present on things like interviews and stuff like that, it's very hard sometimes. So I kind of think about that as well, because I do see that a lot, not just on this YouTube thing, on other things, like people will go out and my family go out and try to do interviews and things like that. So a lot of families is very difficult, or persons. So, you got to help to understand it as well. So I understand that. I know what it feels like. So pray for that family, pray for those families as well. What I would do is I'll start highlighting these families. I ask their permission if they want to be on or not. I could just start highlighting some of these stories on this YouTube channel. Just talk about some cases, and so you guys can hear somewhat. I can't get the whole details of the case, but I can give you some at least some parts about certain cases to so you guys can pray for those families as well and help those families out just like you helped my family. All right, and also if you guys want to help distribute these flyers out, I still have you guys can see I don't have the public desert searches out there. Pretty much it's pretty slowed down tremendously, but the flyer distribution is still strong, still going, still getting those flyers out. So you guys, definitely need you out to if you want to pass out these flyers, continue to get these flyers out. Please email us at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com and request those flyers, or you can go to Please Help to help us out. Go to please, excuse me, guys, I got something running here in the background. But if you guys can please go to pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com and please help find Daniel at yahoo.com and request those flyers, or you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and use the PDF and print those out yourself. You can print those flyers out yourself as well. Or if you want to become a volunteer ambassador under the Volunteer Ambassador Program, you can do that as well. And, the way to do that is to join in on the Ambassador Zoom that I have every Thursday at 5 o'clock p.m. Every Thursday at 5 o'clock p.m. You see it on the bottom of the screen there. And the Zoom link is on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com under the video. So you guys can join it. I want to apologize also last week. Some people I'm sure came out to the Zoom meeting last week. Something came up in the last minute. I was unable to put out that information. And so that's why you guys, if you did click on last week to try to get into that Zoom, I wasn't there. I apologize for that. Like I said, I had some things that happened at the last minute. So thank you guys for coming. Those who came, I did see some alert that some people did try to join in on that Zoom. So thank you again. But as I said, it's every Thursday at 5 p.m. It'll be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Arizona time. That's 8 o'clock East Coast time. So you guys, p.m. All this is p.m. in the evening. So you guys can join in, like I said, to be the distributor, ambassador for your cities. And I'll tell you how that works, what I'm looking for, how my vision of that is as well. It's something that's going to help also with the Daniel Robinson Foundation. So also, you guys, volunteer in other ways tab for those who want to volunteer, want to do something. Like I said, the organized searches have been paused and, very slow here. You got other ways you want to help my efforts to find Daniel, as well as later help with the foundation, things like that. You guys need to put in hit that volunteer in other ways tab on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and fill out that form, so you get your skill sets there. And we'll be able to utilize that in the future. So I'm really, really grateful for those who have already done that as well. And the contact information again is pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com, or you can hit the cell phone number 803-200-7994. And those are the contact information. So you guys can utilize that, put that down as well. Don't forget the hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel today. We're definitely doing that. Fast and prayer for Daniel. Fast and prayer for Daniel means fast and prayer for everyone who have a missing loved one. Thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that you put that up. See that? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I believe that's what DJ Moore. I think who's that? To make sure I get the right person. T. Thank you, T, for that super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. God bless you. Also, like I said, you guys, this not just Daniel. Daniel's is a representative. He's America's son, because it can happen to anybody. So it can happen to anybody become missing. Situations are different, but ultimately that person is missing. So like I always say, Daniel, he's America's son as well. Not just my son, but America's son. And when you say fast and prayer for Daniel, we're just talking about this situation, but we're also remembering other families as well. So again, thank you guys. Like I said, I really appreciate that, T. Thanks so much as well. I'm coming down to comment section here to answer some of these questions. You guys who have been here before, do remember Definitely, if you have a question, put the capital letter Q there, as well as or before your question, or the word question before your question, or some question marks before your question. That helped me as I'm coming down on the comment section. So thank you, T, again. I see that up there. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Skilo, for being here this morning. Thank you for your prayers. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Lola, for being here as well. I really appreciate that. That's wonderful. You being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking your time to be a part. Also, I want to thank, let me see who else I got here. Tracy, thank you so much for being here this morning. Good morning to you. Thank you, Shauna, for being here this morning. Thank you for moderating and everything you do as well. Thank you for being a team member as well as a board member. Thank you, Lois Strickland, for being here constantly in support of everything I do here. Thank you for all the work that you have done as well. Thank you, Barry, for being here. Really appreciate it, being a board member. The VP, I think the VP of Daniel Robinson Foundation, I really appreciate you being here and supporting and moderating as well. Thank you also, FAA Fuki. I hope I said that correctly. But thanks so much for being here on the YouTube side of things. I really appreciate you taking your time out. And peace. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for praying for my family as well. Shauna, thank you so much as well. Being a board member, being here, moderating. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all your work that you do. Tea and Wildflowers, thank you for being here constantly as well. Being showing dedication and support to my cause and everything I'm doing here. I really appreciate you really supporting, coming out every Q&A to help out. I really appreciate it. Also, thank you, Sean, for putting up the hashtag prayer and fast for Daniel. I really appreciate you guys for putting the hashtags up there. Trying to make sure to get algorithms, getting them moving on that. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for keeping it going. So if you guys can put that on your social media, I really appreciate that as well. Thank you, Gina, for everything you have done, all the flyers that you put out there in the community as well, coming out in the desert, braving that desert with me in that desert terrain. I really appreciate you being out there, and as well as everything you do in the background. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much this morning for being here. God bless you. Good to see you again. Also, Clumsy, thank you for being here as well off the YouTube side of things. And I want to say real quick, thank you, Travis. Jacob Travis Stoll, for so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate you guys for doing that. It really means a lot. And also it helps with everything I'm doing here, towards everything I'm doing here. So thank you so much. God bless you. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you again, Clumsy, like I said, for the support and the love for the family. I really appreciate that. PM channel. Thank you for being here as well. Hello to you. God bless you as well. And just like Shauna said, you guys, today is another day to stand up for Daniel in support of his family and friends. I really appreciate that, Shauna, for putting that up. Definitely, you guys have been supporting from day one. I would not have been here over a year, continue to be successful. When I say successful, I haven't found done yet, but successful for getting the work that I need to do done. I've been here on this like I said, with my boots on the ground, accomplished a lot. We did over 40 weeks of searches, over 35,000 acres of land out there in that desert, of searching for Daniel, acres of land. And, constantly still getting out these flyers, thousands and thousands of flyers out, all over this country now. It started off here in Arizona, and those flyers are going everywhere now. So I really appreciate you guys getting the information out as well. Like I said, and I really thank you guys, like for right now, for you guys who did the super chats and things like that, support. Things like that was very much helpful. You guys have been donating. So today, you guys have been standing up in all kinds of ways with support for this channel, to you name it. You guys have been there. So I'm really grateful. So I want to make sure I always express that to you guys, how grateful I am to you all who have been supporting as well, and is praying and calling and whatever you do. I really appreciate everything you do. It's so much that the community does, and I really appreciate each and every last one of you. All right, definitely have Tracy. Thanks so much for being here. If you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask me, please put the word question there before your question, the capital letter Q, or some question marks, something I can see as I'm coming down. Trying to thank everybody I can, but ultimately I want to thank everybody for being here this morning. This morning's Q&A. Thank you, GJ Moore, as well, for being here this morning. Good morning to you. I really appreciate it. I do have a question Oh, well, I thought I had a question. Thank you, Shauna, for putting this information out. Ask a question here. Started off with a capital letter Q, the word question, or a question mark. That definitely would help. And also, I want to thank Ghost Queen 79. Thank you so much for that super chat as well. You guys have been so much a blessing. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. God bless you for that. I really appreciate that. That's wonderful. You decided to put in your heart to help out as well. Thank you so much. Also, blessings to all. I really thank you for being here as well this morning on this Q&A. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you again for being here. All right. If you guys can right now, and those who are new to this channel, who haven't already, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you can. I really need that. You guys have grown this channel to over 1,000 subscribers. That allowed me to do things like offer you guys to help me out with the super chats, as well as getting the Daniel's story out there. Father, more people can see a story, more people can listen in to hear about it. Some of you guys, the ones I've named, say been here from day one this channel started, hear the same things over and over again. A lot of the same things over and over again. But that's what this channel is about. It's about getting Daniel's story out there. You're going to hear some of those things over and over again. Have some of those questions from people who haven't been here on here already. They may have the same questions that you already know. So that's the thing that it's for. And I'm really grateful for you guys have been supporting and still being here in support for Daniel. It's a lot of things I want to put out still. I'm still working on those things. I told you guys I have some more things I want to put out to the public. I'm still waiting on answers from my counsel to make sure it's wise for me to put certain things out. So I'm really we'll be having some things new to put out about Daniel's case. And I'm still working on that. So you guys can bear with me on that part. I'm doing my best to make sure I can get what I can out. But I can tell you one thing is that God has been blessing from in the background. Like I said, I've been working hard, contacting all the law enforcement agencies I can, as well as trying to do other things to ensure that Daniel get the justice that he deserves and that he needs. So some things are moving forward. I can't wait to be able to share those things with you guys. But right now I have to hold on to those. But some things that, you guys, it's all because of you guys. It's all because you guys, like I said, have been doing a lot of calling to, whatever you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. And thank you, Shauna, for putting that up. Like, share, and subscribe if you can right now. Go ahead and do it right now. And I really appreciate it. All right. So thank you. Let me see who I have here. Living life. Thank you so much for the strength. Thank you for the strength. We need the strength here. Me and my family definitely need strength. So I really appreciate that. Thanks so much for putting that there and giving that positive energy. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Sophia. Thanks for being a part of the team and so well, the board member. I really appreciate you taking your time out to be here this morning and make sure you're moderating. God bless you for that. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. And everybody else who's here, Aaron, thanks so much for being here. And thank you. I really appreciate that. And I hope you got my message. I really appreciate what you're doing, all the hard work that you're doing as well, and the phone calls and things that you're doing in the background. A lot of people don't know that. But I really appreciate the hard work that you're doing as well to support my cause to help find Daniel. I really appreciate that. Also, thank you, She Rose Nation, for constantly being here in support. You've been here since day one and helping with this Q&A, as well as coming in to that meeting for the ambassador program. I really appreciate you showing up there as well. Thank you for all that you do in the background. Also, thank you, Shauna, for putting information out there for a day of remembrance. I want to constantly push that as well. It's a very, very important date. It's the day before 9/11, of course. But it's a very, very important date, you guys, for those families who need their story put out there. Those loved ones, families out there, some missing people who need their story out there. I hope I didn't miss someone here. Thank you for that super chat. But don't, the loved ones, the story. I really appreciate that. Their story had to be put out there, and that's what a day of remembrance is for, to be able to get that loved one's story out there, to make sure they heard. Because a lot of people, like I said, don't have a platform, don't have a way to share and highlight their loved one's story. That's what a day of remembrance is for. It's for those families. So we want to make sure that every family be able to, who want to be a part, be able to share that story. So definitely don't forget about that. Is put it on your calendar, September the 10th at 6:30, for those who want to support the families, those families who want to be a part. we ask you to be there at 6 o'clock, of course, at least 30 minutes prior to the event, so you can set up. But, so if you guys want to reserve your spot for yourself, you have a missing loved one, definitely contact us. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. That's for those families who want to reserve their spot for a day of remembrance. And everybody else who want to come out and support, like I said, you can go to the Eventbrite. That's the link there she put there as well. You go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and hit the events tab, and you still can go to the Eventbrite to RSVP. So we'd like to see you out there. So thank you again for those who like I said, those who want to support and who are planning to support. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you, Aaron, again. Like I said, for everything you have done as well. Also, thank you, Shauna, for putting more information out there as well. Join Mr. Robinson August 25th, Mountain Time, and learn about becoming an ambassador. I really appreciate that, for putting the information out there on that behalf. You guys, if you can, come out tomorrow evening at 5. I really like to hear from you and like to see your faces. See your face. I've seen Aaron, Chase, and She Rose Nation. I see you guys who came out. Thank you so much. It's always good to see people put a face with a name. So also good to see you as well. All right. Thank you, Tay, for coming out this morning, being a part of this Q&A. Wendy, thanks so much for being here as well. Thank you again, T and Wildflower, for putting a hashtag there. Fast and prayer for Daniel. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. All right. And if anybody have any questions, please, by all means, thank you, Dog Defender, for being here. If you guys have any questions, please, by all means, put the word question there before your question, or put the capital letter Q or some question marks, things like that. That will help me find you as I'm coming down the comment section. Thank you, Lakeisha, for being here. Thank you for all those thousands of flyers you put out, as well as all the efforts you're doing in the background to help find answers to what happened with Daniel. I really appreciate that for everything you do as well, being here and supporting this Q&A. Thanks so much. All right. And like I said, you guys have a question, I am coming down. Look for your questions. Thank you, Sherry, as well, for being here. I really, God bless you on that. Also, thank for the amens. I see the amens. Amens here, amens there. I really appreciate the amens. Thank you so much for that as well. All right. And let's see who else I got here. Okay, I lost my spot here. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, who coming in this morning. If I miss your name, I apologize. But thank you so much for being here on this Q&A. Thank you, PM Channel, for your first question. For the first question this morning, I really appreciate that. The question is there clarity to the timeline confirming if Daniel physically arrived at the second well site? Were you able to obtain video from the Waffle House? Whatever new updates you can share. Yeah, that's some updates I really want to share. Like I said, I want to be able to put those out. I'm still waiting on, counsel on that. But one of the things I can say, no, I don't have any video from the Waffle House. Those guys, the Buckeye Police Department, first stated that they had the videos, you guys. But then when I asked for the video, they claim it now is all still photos they got from the Waffle House. I did speak with Waffle House. They do not give out still photos. They give out videos. So that was a lie to me. I was told a lie, of course. But yeah, I don't have any video. I'm still trying to work on the video myself. I can't get it from the Buckeye Police Department, but I'm trying to get it elsewhere. So they do have a main in Georgia, main department there. So I'm still trying to see if I can get that information for that video. But that's the Waffle House. And you asked about the if Daniel actually physically made it to that second well site. I don't have any total confirmation on that part yet. I do have circumstantial stuff that will say certain things. I'm not going to say one way or the other, because that kind of hurt what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to figure out and find out. But one thing I can say, it is problematic, and that's one of the questions that lingers there. You know what I'm saying? Based on the fact that there was a timeline put there from the first initial police report from the officer Cruz, who was the first person to interview the only last person that seen my son. And that was the first information that was put out, you know what I'm saying, in that report. It was a 9 o'clock and 9:15. And we also all know that because of the timeline that was put there, and also the phone records did not match that timeline that was put there. We know that there's questions there as well. Also, some things that, like I said, from what I have gathered myself, it's a lot of information came out of the phone, a lot of information came out of different other areas that is very I'm putting together. So I cannot put those things out right now, but yes. So I understand the reasons why you asking those questions. It's a lot that people can gather themselves and look at things how they just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest part, I think. What happens is you guys can look at it and say, hey, look, it just don't make sense to me, and I have questions about that. So, and that's what happens. So I have questions as well, and that's what caused me to go look farther. And I do have people who also helped as well. People like John Q, people like Q Carlock and back. I was doing some things as well as Tisa Field and some of the other ones. That was doing some little things and putting out some information as well. Helped me look some directions that and you guys was putting out questions and things like that. And even like She Rose Nation had me look at something a little different. So so those things help when it comes to investigation. I'm just a father who came out really passionate to look for my son. I'm doing everything I can. Ex-military, and we don't quit. This is something that I do as a father, first of all. Second of all, a lot of training as well. So like I said, you guys I don't know everything. That's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes you guys ask questions like that or say certain little things that kind of help me because, in the investigative side, sometimes you don't think of everything. And so when you guys do that, it helped me think of some areas, and then I start looking at certain things. So thank you again. I do see some little problems here technically. Like the signal is not really that great, so if it's kind of fuzzy on your end there, I do see it on the screen. If it's kind of fuzzy on your end, that's most likely, like I said, because of the signal. I've been having some little issues this morning. So, all right. Thank you, Aaron Chase, for your question. I hope I didn't miss that. Yeah. Will you make it to the Zoom call tomorrow? Yes, I will. I like to update you. Yes, and if you can, Aaron. Yes, and guys, I want to make sure that you guys understand that the flyer information tomorrow is for the ambassador program. And if you guys have anything you want to share with me, Aaron, as well, I will make that available for you as well. What I can do is start trying to make sure I get in contact with you personally. I already know your contact information. Make sure I get that with you so you can share some of those things with me as well. So thank you so much for your hard work. Like I said, I really appreciate your hard work and everything you're doing. That's really, really helpful. Really helpful. There's a lot of information you give as well. So I'm going through those. Don't think I haven't. I am going through those information that I did receive from you, and I'm going through it. So thank you so much for that. And I ask you to please continue doing that great work that you're doing. I really appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Shauna, for also for putting information as well. Time to come forward with what's happened to Daniel. It is for those person who's know, the one that know, it's time to speak out. It's been past time to speak out. And so I really want to say, if you have any kind of information about what happened to my son, it's time to speak. You know what I'm saying? His mother's going through pain, his siblings, his grandparents, myself, even people that follow the story, that got passionate about Daniel's story, going through pain. So time to come clean, and just please go ahead and be honest with what happened, and just open your mouth and say something. Saying clear your own conscience. Everybody has some type of hope, has some type of conscience. So definitely time to empty all that out. Thank you, Larnell, for being here as well, being a board member. Thank you so much for all your hard work and moderating as well. Thank you for being here this morning. Good morning to you too, sir. I really appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Nadia, for being here. Justice will be served for dear Daniel. I really appreciate it for your prayers. I really appreciate you coming out here to the Q&A. Thank you, T, again. Like I said, T, thank you so much for, I really appreciate that for that super chat. I really appreciate it. That really helps towards everything I'm doing here for the YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. All right. Thank you, DJ Moore, for your question. Have you or anyone set up game cams? I cannot say yeah or nay on that, but as in anybody else, stuff like that, I don't know. I don't want to put out if I know what you're talking about though, but I won't be able to put that information out. I know it is a little late for that, but if cams are out there, you can get an idea, who all what goes on out there. And there's a lot of things we do see when we are out there. I've been out there many times by myself. I've been out there with a small group. I've been out there with the volunteers in a large setting, and there's a lot of things going on out there. A lot of people out there hunting and things like that as well. You got quails that people go out there hunting quails, especially I think closer to around this time of year, coming to the fall season. The quails. I say it might be a good idea, might be an idea that helps, and it is a great idea. Thank you, GJ Moore. It is a very great idea, and but like I said, I won't be able to say if they're out there or not. But yeah, that's a very good idea, and do get a lot of information that way. So yes, but I was told, I can't say I was told when I first started my desert searches out there. There were people who had trail cams and things like that for the wildlife. It was actually game and fish because of the mountain lion that live out in that area, as well as things like coyotes or whatever they get the wildlife type stuff that's out there. So they do have those trail cams and things out there that's the catcher of some of those things. So, and that's one of the first things I did when I was out there, is try to locate those. Even had a volunteer bring me a device you can use to track those cameras and things like that. So, but anyway, haven't found those out there, but definitely heard they were out there. So, all right, thank you again, Travis, for that super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless you on that. Like I said, you guys have been helpful in everything I have done here from day one. Thank you so much, Travis. Also, thank you, the ConCon, for being here and support as well again. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. So, thank you. Thank you, Shauna, for putting that up as well. But thank you so much, like I said, for being here. You guys have been supporting. T and Wildflower have a question here as well. Mr. Robinson, do you know why Daniel's friend would offer to pick him up when Daniel had his own car? Did he ever explain? No, he did not explain that. I did listen to that as well. I have people in my circle who's asking the same question that you're asking there. That's one thing that was pointed out to me as well. Something I didn't really hear or understood that when I first listened to you guys probably hear it when I played it on the timeline. So yes, one thing. Yeah, that's one thing people would ask that question. For me, I took it as he was being very concerned because of the multiple phone calls and things like that. So, but it's a lot of things I think that people, if they know anything, like I said, that's what the anonymous tip line is for. That's my phone number. But he have a direct line to me. So if he know anything or he got any information, he definitely have no excuse not to be able to contact me directly. So if there's something there, definitely, yeah, he can contact me. But yeah, I have the same questions asked to me from people in my circle. So definitely one of those things that make you think about that. Also, thank you, Miss Watchman. Thanks so much for your question. Do you have a Cash App? Yes, I do. I do have a Cash App, but that is on, excuse me, you guys, that is on the Twitter account. I did not put it on the website because one of my hangups was at the time when somebody like yourself asked me the same question in the past, but I had got a lot of people was asking me, Miss Watchman, a lot of people been asking me for the Cash App. And I was really, really hesitant on even getting a Cash App or any other thing other than the GoFundMe. And the reason why, because I didn't want the appearance to be bad. So I say, look, I'm here to try to find Daniel. I need the help I can get, and so I just try to keep it at one avenue of donating. But like I said, there was a lot of people that asked about the Cash App. I did decide to do that, and like I said, it is on the Twitter account. So if you guys wanted to use that, I don't have that. I think my team will put it in the chats there for me. But I'll give you the address will be in the chats. One of the moderators will put it there for me. But yes, if you want to give to the calls through the Cash App, I really appreciate that as well. I think a lot of people wanted to use the Cash App because they didn't want to give the GoFundMe, because GoFundMe do take charges out. So I don't receive all of that because they take some fees out. But also, people like to use Cash App, stuff like that for those reasons. So definitely, Miss Watchman, I wish I had the Cash App address there. Like I said, I don't really, I just have that on the Twitter. If you go to Twitter, please help find 4, please help find, and the number 4, you'll see the dollar little thing on that Twitter account, and that's the Cash App. But again, like I said, my moderators, they will put the address there in the chat. So you go down in the chats, it'll be there for you for the Cash App. Thanks so much. I really appreciate for you offering that as well. Thank you. Right here, I have Ghost. Let me see who is there. There you go, Ghost Queen. Thank you so much for that super chat as well. I really appreciate that. Just wanted to make sure I tell you thank you. I really appreciate it. You guys, that's a new option, like I said, that was given to me because you guys have got this channel up to over 1,000 subscribers, and we got the over 1,000 subscribers, little things like that open up. Also, the monetization of the site as well. You might see some of these, might see some of the old videos I have may have like commercials in them or things like that. So that helps out towards some things for this channel as well. So really thank you guys. You guys have put the channel there. You guys, by like, share, and subscribing to the channel, you're getting Daniel's story out, Father. I really appreciate that. Like my goal was to create this channel to get Daniel's story out, and you guys already know the story behind that. The story behind that is, Daniel's story went semi-nationally because of some incidents that happened with other family, and and as well as my hard work. His story went out there, but after a while, news media's only carried for so long. The story get kind of old. I'm sure they're boss, because like I said, I don't put it on the journalists. I don't put it on the reporters, because a lot of them still contact me just to say hello, but a lot of them that do contact will say, what's new, what's new, what's new, what's new. And I'm not able to put out everything. Like I'm not able to put everything out right now here, but I will. So it's nothing really significantly new. The reason why a lot of these you guys see some of these cases where they have all this news coverage for weeks, talking about this case, is because of law enforcement. If every time law enforcement and the media show a lot of attention, and law enforcement showing a lot of attention in this case, they have their dogs out there. For instance, they have these helicopters. Look at all these agencies working together to try to find this person. Then you have news coverage, right? You have news coverage, and there's a sighting. There's something they want to put out to get their ratings or whatever the case may be. But in my case, that didn't happen, first of all, that way. The other part is, it's my son. My son is missing. Damn all of that. So I want to make sure that my son's story stays out there. His story don't die. And so the way I have to do that is to create my own channel and try my best as I can to keep a story going, keep everything out there as much as possible. And, because that one person in my mind, that one person I always appeal to and say, hey, look, I have a tip line that you can use 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can be anonymous. That is who I'm trying to reach. And you guys have been helping me by doing the flyer distribution, put out the information, like and subscribe to this channel, you name it. All that contributes to trying to find that one person or persons who know what happened to my son, and who happened to pass by that day. I use that same analogy. Happened to pass by that day, saw something, heard something, whatever the case may be, and now they live in Maine or something. I want to be able to reach that person in Maine by keeping this channel going. Somebody from word of mouth, and reach that person, from the flyer distribution, reach that person. You name it. And so that's what I do this for. It's part of the efforts. It's part of the same thing as being out there in that desert with the volunteers, walking that desert really hard, finding other human remains out there, finding other things out there, suspicious things out there that's may or may not be related to Daniel's disappearance. You just name it. Doing the investigation to all that stuff and contribute. Everything is contributed to that one cause, and that's to find my son and find those answers. So definitely. All right, but again, thank you, Queen Ghost Queen, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Amber Stokes, so much. I really appreciate that for your super chat. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you for the hashtag. Help find Daniel. I really appreciate it as well. On the YouTube side, I will be putting that up in a minute, you guys. That's on the YouTube side. I just happen to look at the YouTube screen over there and seen that. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Shauna, for those who want to use that Cash App. That's the address there. The Cash App ID address is right there. I really appreciate it, you guys, for your support, your constant support for everything I'm doing. It's not just to, it's a lot of parts to my being here. First of all, to be here on the ground, keep my boots on the ground, to keep me here in Arizona. I've been pushing really hard. I do have a home in South Carolina as well. I have my responsibilities in South Carolina. I just grabbed everything I can to start heading out to Arizona. I do live out here in Arizona now. And to remain here, I need all the help I can. Also, as well as the flyers, when I was out there in the desert, all the equipment, and also being able to get an investigator and all that stuff. You guys have helped me. I really appreciate that. And then after my son's vehicle showed up, and after the strings of everything that was going on with the investigation, you guys noticed I had to start asking for help with this forensics. And so I've been pushing it a lot. At the same time, I'm still, you guys, there's a lot being spent off as well as constantly getting those flyers out there, thousands and thousands of flyers. It's a whole operation in a sense. Everything had to flow and everything had to move. So it's constantly things I'm constantly doing a lot with the volunteers as well as my team. It's a constant thing. So definitely everything you guys have done, and I really appreciate that, have been contributing to how everything been working to this date. And I have never in my life thought I was going to be organizing anything. And never in my life thought I'll be out here in Arizona looking for my son. But you guys have, like I said, kept me here. And I really appreciate it. I'm still fighting. And those things I really want to put out right now is because of what you guys have done. It's some great things did happen in the background. I got some good news a day or two ago. It's only God. It's God and you guys have been backing to everything I've been doing here and been believing in what I've been doing here. And you've been showing your love to Daniel and to my family. So I really appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Miss Watchman, as well, for being here. Thank you, CA, for being here. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate it. It's not often easy. Like I said, it's easy. Like I said, my first thought when I was on the way here to Arizona is a couple things. I had to get there. These people are not going to look for my son. I need to get there. I just didn't care. I need to be here on the ground to go find Daniel. The other part is I put in my mind, look, I had to treat my sons like a mission for me. When I was on that road, I made my mind, look, this is a mission. I have a lot of military training, and one thing I know that we was trained is to always put the mission first. And my son is my mission. I was putting that first before anything, and I'm getting here. And I know, and I'm continuing that mission. I'm continuing to try to stay strong as I can. I don't, like I said, it's not easy. I have my rough nights. I have my rough days. My team and people that's close to me know it's not always easy. It looks easy, but it's not. It's very painful to constantly not have answers to exactly what happened. So, and then at the same time, try to make sure I keep this whole thing going, this whole operation, I like to call it, going to find Daniel. So you guys, thank you. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I can't say it enough. Aaron Chase, thank you for your question. Will you please share the black box information from Daniel Jeep, please? Well, there's some things that's already public about the black box data. You guys know there's 11 additional miles based on that data that was on the vehicle after the first initial crash. We also know the speed, roughly around 30-some miles per hour, the speed of impact when the vehicle made impact with whatever impact was in the desert terrain, whatever the vehicle came in contact with that caused the airbags to deploy, how fast the vehicle was going, as well as some other little items. I'm trying to remember exactly, but in combination with that black box data and also stuff that came from the infotainment center system, like I said, we know the 11 additional miles as well as the time. It happened almost 4 hours after they supposedly Daniel went missing. So Daniel made that phone call at 9:28. But that first incident had happened until roughly around 1 o'clock that evening, according to my investigator. So, excuse me. So, we do get some information from the black box data, but that's the thing that's already out there. And some other things that I'm not sure what's really relevant to be able to put out into the public right now. So, those things are already out there, and I really appreciate that question. But that's the things that's out there concerning with the black box data. And you guys already know the red transfer paint that's on the vehicle and all the other stuff, the impressions on the windshield that would suggest somebody beating the windshield in, things like that. So that's already out there. So thank you, Aaron. If I got more information that'll come out for that black box data, I definitely will put it out if I can. I really appreciate your question, but I will put it out if I can. All right, I have PM Channel for being here. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for your question. It is my understanding the amount listed on the GoFundMe is not accurate. Is there a way to update the account for accurate amount needed? I am sure expenses exceed $350,000. Well, I started off the GoFundMe with when I first came to Arizona. I want to make sure I get it right. I asked for, I think it was like $15,000 or something like that. Because I didn't know when I first came here, I didn't know it was going to be expensive, first of all, to live here. But once I've been here, I saw things quickly. It's going to be very hard. I didn't have a desert search at the moment, and I was trying to get those desert searches together at the time. My daughter introduced GoFundMe. I never heard of a GoFundMe. My daughter introduced it to me and said, "Hey, that would help out a lot." Like I said, start off with something small like that, but as the need came, I started increasing it. It was hard for me to do it a lot of times. I had people to talk me into it, and I smiled about that because those people know who they are. Gives the kids one to help out as well. But to encourage me, hey, you need to raise it up because the need was great. The need started becoming more than I thought. I'd never imagined how much it costs to be able to do certain things, to be able to keep everything going. And so, like I said, it goes up as I need it, and try to reach those goals there. So I started catching on how the GoFundMe should work. And so right now, that's what I have it at, based on what I need, the needs I have right now. As you guys know, just because it says amount that was collected since I started the GoFundMe is not money that is sitting around. Those are monies that are actually being used, whether it's the desert searches, whether it's my being here, whether it's the flyer distribution, whether it's the travel, whatever the case, supplies, you name it. All that stuff is part of what's been donated. You guys been donating from day one, and it's been constantly moving. As things coming in, money constantly going out, taking care of things. So now that's what's happening to this date. So that's the reason why I had to slow things down to try to still keep the operation and everything going. What I'm doing for Daniel, and that kind of hurt. I had to make some decisions on how to continue being out there in the desert, and at the same time do all the things I'm doing outside of the desert. It wasn't just a desert search. There's a lot of things going on at the same time, and that's why I had to cut the desert search from being weekly to every other week, and then come down lower. Because that's the first thing I thought. Hey, we did all these acres of land. We did a whole bit vast area, so it's possible to kind of slow the searches down and concentrate more on investigation, concentrate more on the getting the information out, things like that. So I had to make some hard decisions, very hard, very painful decisions. A lot of it had to do with my feelings because, I'm out there in the desert with the volunteers, and I see the way the desert does people's family members' remains. We found a lot of animals out there, but we found human remains as well. One thing that was really tough in my brain is to imagine my son out there somehow and lying on the ground somewhere, excuse me, and seeing, what that desert terrain does to the human body. So, and I didn't want that for my son. So it's kind of hard to pause searches and things like that for situations when it comes to finance or things like that. So it was really, really hard. But I had to make those hard choices. And like I said, I still haven't given up on things like that. But I had to make certain hard choices based on the timing. So that's how that works for me. I'm learning a little bit more every time. I'm getting unfortunately, learning a lot about searching and all of the stuff. So in a bad way because my son is missing. But thank you so much for putting that up, PM channel. I really appreciate you. I am L. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate for your prayers and thanks for fasting and prayer with us today. I really appreciate it. My family need all of you. Need that strength. We need that positive energy, and I'm really grateful for everybody who's out here to give that positive energy. If you guys have any more questions, please put a capital letter Q there, followed by your question, the word question, and so on and so on and so on. You got it. You guys got it. The question mark, something that can help me find your question as I come down the comment section. I am getting close to some timing, and I want to look for all the questions and try to get all the questions. If I is somehow not able to get to your question today, I have time right now. I have plenty of time right now, but I get to a point where I can't answer your question today on this Q&A. I do have one this evening. It's called a Q&A. For those who don't know, please help find Daniel Q&A prime time. That's at 5:30 this evening, right here on this YouTube channel. That's 8:30 p.m. On the West Coast. I mean, on the East Coast. Excuse me. 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast. 5:30 p.m. here in Arizona, and also in California, because we're on the same time right now. So if you guys want to join in and come back with your question, please, by all means, be able to come back and do that, as well as come back for those who join in with the fast and prayer to hear me close the fast and prayer out. Like I said, we can continue on with the fast and prayer after the Q&A, but I just have to do that because the Q&A is at 5:30, and I won't be on later on that day. So I'll go ahead and do the prayer right then to end the fast and prayer. I ask those who have people of faith to also, next time we have this fast and prayer, and like I said, it's always going to be that Wednesday close to the 23rd of every month, to talk to your churches and ask them to come in and join in with us with the fast and prayer as well, because I need all of that. I need all of that. We did have some churches that have done it before. One church of myself that I grew up in back in my hometown had joined in before. So I definitely want you guys to definitely ask these churches, and as well as your prayer warriors, to join in. Those who believe in fast and prayer, we need all the people we can. All right. Thanks so much. And the question I have here from I am L. David Daniels' vehicle had 11 extra miles, which is exactly where the landfill fund contaminated groundwater site is. Have you checked their cameras and started a search there? No, I don't know. I don't know that place. I never heard of it. You say a landfill Superfund contaminated groundwater site. I don't know exactly where that's at. Now, one thing I want to say about that 11 additional miles as well. It's questionable to me with the not the miles. The miles is not questionable. That's data. That's exactly what happened. There was 11 additional miles on that vehicle after that crash, the initial crash. And so that's a fact. That's the stone on stone. The problem with that is, in my estimation, and as well as the investigation, as well as the testimony of the rancher, this vehicle was placed there. So we cannot base the 11 miles. Actually, even though I have done it in the desert, because of the information I had at the time, I didn't have now. And so the desert search was based on some of the deaths. So it wasn't just based on 11 additional miles, because it was already based on a lot of other factors. But some of that was on that 11 additional miles, just to be sure. And so we did cover those areas where we gathered 11 miles away from where this vehicle is located now. But what I'm saying is, you guys, it's a stage event, and that vehicle wasn't there at that 11. It cannot be based on it, if you get what I'm saying, from this site here, 11 additional miles back from where it was at to make it to that site, to this area. That's one thing that wouldn't make sense to me when that's a stage that vehicles carried from somewhere else. Now, the problem with that is that there's other parts of Daniel's story as well when it comes to where this vehicle is actually located. And you guys know pretty much where I'm going with that. There was also information about a vehicle sitting on the side of the road and things like that. So all that is in combination to that 11 additional miles of exactly where this vehicle was at when that 11 additional miles was put on that vehicle after that first crash. So definitely looking at that. But thank you so much for that. And if I can find this landfill, super landfill, no, I didn't hear about this. I don't know where it's at. And but I would like to. I would like to. So I'll definitely be looking up that information, try to see where you're talking about and what area that's located. All right. All right, so Callie, thanks so much. Oh, thank you, Callie. I haven't seen you on here in a while. So thank you so much for what you do, as well as getting those information out to people on the emails and things like. So, guys, who receiving emails come from Callie. I really appreciate you, Callie, for all that you have done from day one. Coming out to searches, you and your brother, as well as your husband. I really appreciate it. You guys coming out to flyer distribution as well. All the hard work that you're doing in the background, I really love you for that, and I thank you. All right, forgive me if this has been asked a bunch. You guys, any question you need? But I've been wondering about Roger acting strangely at one of the searches. And I'm gonna stop right there real quick, and that's one of the things that at the beginning, of course, we do look at body language, and there was a lot of that going on at that. Like you said, that's one of the things that caught me at first. And it happened a couple of times. And one of the really opening parts for me was when Chief Hall showed up, and the rancher showed up the same day I told you, that weekend after this vehicle showed up in that desert. We was out there searching already. They had Silver Patrol out there. Have myself. We was on the ground, the volunteers working around that well site, searching for Daniel, and all this already going on before that vehicle showed up in the desert. It just so happened to be placed there because I'm here on started trying to get on some of the local channels. I had one local person channel try to give me some time, and I'm out there on social media talking about we're out here in the desert because we had to go social media. The desert search was based on social media. We're out here in the desert for search for Daniel. So I'm sure the person responsible hear all that and make sure the vehicles showed up out there in the desert. Now the thing is, one of the biggest things is, that was some little body language. I watched that body language. That's part of things I've been watching as well. Things that have been brought to me as well from other people and surroundings. So you're right. You're there yourself. So you definitely know what you're talking about as well. So you're definitely part of that desert team and that desert search. So I really appreciate you and your brother. Like I said, I believe I read in that report was that ever follow up on. A lot of things I wonder was ever follow up on. From my honest estimation, the things that was given to me from that department, no. Every time I ask them questions like that to follow up on things, they say, I asked them, did they speak to these people? They say, oh, yeah, I spoke to them. I have not known, like I told you guys before, I can almost guarantee you, not one time to have any of those people ever been brought into that police department for questioning. Not one of them. But me and my daughter have. They called me and my daughter there in that police department, took us in the back. And I didn't realize at the time, but hindsight, looking at it, because I've never been in the interrogation room. I don't commit crimes. But from what I see on TV, yeah, they put us in an interrogation room, me and my daughter. So I really highly doubt that anybody other than me and my daughter in the Buckeye Police Department have been in some type of interrogation other than me and my daughter. And that's the things I'm saying, you guys. They literally asked a question, like some people have that question. I know this is off topic, Kylie, but my team, I often do this. But anyway, one thing from that memory for me in that interrogation room is the fact that they sat there and say, can you think of anything that Daniel's acting strange or odd or whatever the case may be? And we had to sit there and literally think hard as we can, come up with something. My daughter came up with something that happened like a week or so before, or probably a couple weeks before, saying he's standing off of the wall. Came to her house one day, standing on the wall, but they put that in a report, as it happened the day he went missing or the day before he went missing or something like that. And so those type things, it was problematic for me as well. Well, like I'm saying, but nobody have, in my estimation and what I have seen and what I heard from directly from that police department, nobody had ever been called in. There's always been questioned, even from my investigator, my former investigator, Mr. McGrath, never have interrogated anybody. Nobody's been interrogated. He said, "Hey, I just asked them questions." So it seemed that way to me, that people would often just ask people questions and then just take their story without question. But my son is the victim, and instead of looking at what we saying as a family and say, "Hey, look, this is not Daniel. This is not right. This is not how things should have gone," that type deal. This shouldn't happen. Make a long story short, because Daniel's this person, this out of character for him, whatever the case may be. They didn't want to accept that kind of stuff, So they'll accept what they want to accept. I'm talking to the police department. They want to accept what they want to accept. But anyway, I have a question here. Thank you, Callie, for that question. But yeah, I noticed the same thing. I do still reach out to him, and try to see if he, willing to talk about anything. So I'm still waiting on him to be able to speak back. I contacted him for a little while. He didn't get back in a while, but I do reach out to him. But yeah, that's some of the things was body language, like you said, was some things that would make you think, otherwise. So yeah, I've been there and I've seen it, watched it. He was acting very strangely, body language. Even one point, some little things that happened at the job, not just at the well, out there in the desert, but as well at the job. So like I told you guys, I did a lot of board meetings with that company, and some things that happened transpired in that board meeting as well. That raise some puzzling thoughts in your mind when it comes to people body language. Body language. Excuse me, guys. I'm losing my voice a little bit. All right. I am L. Thank you again. Question above. Oh, you have a question above. Okay, that's what it was. But thanks so much for that question. I really appreciate it. You guys have any more questions, like Aaron Chase? You can't put the question marks there for your question. You can put the word question there, or it's the capital letter Q, and I can help me find your question. What is the date? What is the date and time of the Waffle House footage where you're looking for? Is it June 22nd? Yeah, it was June 22nd when Daniel was supposedly been at the Waffle House. And you guys, so yes, that is accurate for that date. And so, yes, I have some information as well about that, and that will be something that will be coming out as well. All right, and thank you, Amber Stokes. Thanks so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you. God bless you for that. Thank you for your help towards everything I'm doing here. I really appreciate that. God bless you, and thank you for being here this morning. All right, thanks so much. Also, thank you, I am L, for a question. Have you checked the cameras at the landfill 11 miles away? No, I have not, because it's a federal Superfund contaminated groundwater site. There are cameras there. You should search it. And I will, since you brought that up, I'll find out where that's located. If you happen to have any a ping location to that would help as well. IML. And if you can send that to one of the information that I have there for information, if you guys want to reach out to me, that'll help as well. But yeah, I'll be looking for that and find out with that name that you put there, the landfills, and see how close that is to where my son supposedly been missing from out there in that desert. Thank you again for your question. Dog Defender, thank you for your question. How are you? I'm doing okay. Doing okay, best as I can. Still fighting, still going to keep going. I really appreciate you asking that question. I wonder if there has been any movement towards getting a different department. I'm working very hard on that, and I'm not giving up on that. And so I do have some positive information towards that direction. But like I said, I will be putting that out pretty soon. But I thank you so much for that question, because yes, I'm pushing very hard for that direction to get everything put there, because like I said, whenever a family lose trust and lose any kind of just lose just confidence in the department, they should do the right thing. It's not about them. It's about my son missing. It's not about their feelings. I don't give a damn about their feelings. a bunch of grown men, a bunch of grown women, whoever there in that apartment. I don't care about your feelings. I just care about my son. I care about his case. I care about the integrity of his case. I care about all of that. So if you're not, if I don't have that confidence in you, my family don't have that confidence in you, and we ask you to have somebody else handle my son's case, you should do so. Do the right thing and do that. They don't own anything just because it's something they feel like is a jurisdictional thing. They can give up that jurisdictional thing by choice, and so it's nothing that they can't do. It can be out of being arrogant. It can be out of their own self, whatever. But ultimately, when a family lose trust and they're feeling their ability to help my family, yeah, they need to do the right thing and release it. Like they know what I'm asking for. So them guys, yeah, definitely working everything I can towards that, and I'm not letting off of that. I'm not letting off that gas pedal on that part. To look at this, yes. Have you been able to follow up on recommendations I sent? Yes. How can I support you? You know, and I really appreciate that. Everything you've been doing so far, I really appreciate Dog Defender. I appreciate a lot of people as well who's been doing a lot as well. So definitely really appreciate that, because everything that you do and as well as others help me towards, like I said, I don't think of everything. I'm new, I'm a person who so happen to have a missing son. And as time goes, it's been a year. And for this whole entire year, I've been learning a lot, getting a lot of information from people like yourself. And, they've been helping me go forward. So definitely there. But yeah, like I can say, a lot of things has happened, and I'm still pushing, because it's not just the end. You can't just get to a certain point and let your foot off the gas pedal and make it through. You got to keep that pedal down. So I'm really pushing hard. And making sure I continue to go forward to get what Daniel needs. And that's, like I said, a change of venue when it comes to this case. This case had already been damaged enough. There's no reason why I should have had everything from that scene, as a family member. Of course, I would have felt confident, the department was doing the investigation and did the forensic work, and things like that. So I've been very confident on that as well. All right, and let's see. Here we go. Okay, Shauna. Thank you again, Shauna, for putting information up there. If you guys, for those that I don't speak about a lot, if you guys want to be a part of this voice, I started also a petition when I first kind of started this thing. That petition kind of grew from trying to get the Buckeye Police Department to do more. And then it grew from, then my passion started coming in to try to ask you guys to help sign this petition because I was really uptight that I had to think about it. It was time lost. The first 24 hours is very crucial to find somebody. As a matter of fact, the first moment when a person report their person in, those first moments means a lot in that 24-hour period is what I'm saying. You don't wait 24 hours. In that 24-hour period, that moments are very crucial. So that petition was definitely geared to say, hey, look, we need to change those rules. And a lot of times they're not in the policy or rule. That is something that police would tell you because they heard it somewhere else. Well, you got to wait 12 hours because you go ask them for their policy on that. They don't have one. And because there's no policy to say they can't take a report immediately. But that's some lazy cop that'll sit there and don't give a damn about your family that much because it ain't their family. And they'll be like, yeah, you got to wait 12 hours or report, or you got to wait 24 hours to make sure, blah, 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 whatever. You don't have to do that. So next time they ever said it to you guys, ask them what their policies state. Do their policies state that and get them on record saying that they policy, because they lied, then you can come back on them on their lie. So the thing is, it's not in the policy, but that's what they made me do. Wait 12 hours, 12-hour mark just to report Daniel missing. And that was 12 hours lost, and that's problematic because in that 12 hours, that could have changed the whole scenario. What happened now? I would have had my son. I really believe that. So that's what that petition is also went towards, and people started signing for that. Then I started trying to get the FBI involved. people started signing for that. So it kept graduating. So every time you guys see updates on that petition, and that's the reason why it's growing with this case, growing with my needs, and what I'm thinking. So, and you guys have been doing that. You've been putting your voice on that petition, and that's very important. So every time y'all do that, it's not y'all just signing it. It's y'all putting your voice. Y'all saying the same thing I'm saying. And I really appreciate it. And you guys who have multiple email addresses, you can do it multiple times. Put your voice to that petition. And that's the reason why Shauna put it that way on there. 11,581 voices have spoken. Not just some signature. You're more than a signature, you're a person. So I look at it, your voice. Please sign it and share that petition. You can find that on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Under the petition tab. You can find that as well. And Justice for Daniel, we definitely want Buckeye to be able to put that case, Daniel's case, release my son's case to a different department. Also, Aaron, thanks so much for your question. What efforts have made excuse me, what efforts have made to get Waffle House to release CCTV clips to you? Well, I'm working on that, but yes, I told you guys I'm definitely working on that as well. What's the hold up? Did they give it to Ellie? And they have given that to law enforcement. Like I told you guys, they told me that up front. Oh, we have video. That's the wording. We have video of Daniel at the Waffle House doing blah, so on, so on. But then when the information they gave me, right, a family member, was a bunch of pictures of, like, they took their camera and took a picture of the video took a picture of the video that was given to them. And so that's what I have. And I asked them for the video now. Now they're saying, well, we never had no video. We just had pictures of the video. So I don't really believe that the Waffle House, and like the manager and the people I contacted would say they don't give law enforcement pictures. Excuse me. So, but they had to go to Atlanta to get those footage. So long story short, yeah, I'm working on that as well. And guys, forgive me, I'm a little choking here. So, I think this is a question here. I am L. Have you completed forensic work on the red and the yellow transfer paint? No, not yet. Soil samples inside to see if they match the landfill. No, I have not. And you're saying a lot about this landfill and this information. If you have anybody have any information, definitely, you definitely have direct information, L. You can use that tip line as well. But yes, definitely don't know about the soil samples and things like that. But the landfill, I still first got to find out about this landfill first and see if that's relation to what happened to my son. So if you know information about that, that's other than the way you put it there, I would like to hear those as well. But yes, you got to pique my interest on that part when it comes to hearing about some landfill samples and dirt and things like that. That's some things I believe that would be taken care of when I have these this truck vehicle tested, given for forensic work and stuff like that. Because there was no forensic work like that done on that vehicle. I haven't never seen that vehicle but twice. To this date, I have only been close to that. Closest I've been to that vehicle was with the Buckeye Police Department chief, Detective Biffin. At the time, he told it to me. He was standing. The closest I've been to it was about 3 feet away, about 12 feet away. The second time was with my investigator, somewhere around 12 feet away, a little more, with my investigator, who at the location we have it, and seeing him do some stuff from afar. So I stay away from the vehicle until the right proper persons be able to do exactly what you're saying, those type deals. As in the landfills, I definitely want to find out what you're talking about. If I can find that location, just look at it and see what's the, how I want to put it, how it fits into where supposedly Daniel was located and things like that. So that'll definitely help. All right. And thank you, finding Alicia. Thank you for your comment as well. Find it, and I just see that. I've seen you before, I believe. And like I said, if you'd like to share your person's story on this YouTube channel, feel free to contact me. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. And I would like to have you on the show, to highlight Alicia, I believe, who you're highlighting there. I'm trying to look at the picture very well, but definitely, I know whatever's going through with your family, we're praying for your family as well. That's what that's what I'm doing. That's what this whole day of fast and prayer for Daniel is about. Praying for your family as well, asking God to give you those closures and answers that you need to be able to find your loved one unharmed. So definitely, like I said, you want to share here. Also, if you want to come to a day of remembrance, if you can, I don't know what city you're in or where you're located. Definitely be able to come there to bring, be able to get your flyers, your information out about Alicia, and definitely want to open that up to you as well. Same way, contact us. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. Please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. My mind keeps thinking about the website, but please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. We'd love to be able to have you there as well and help and support any way I can. So thanks so much for being here and supporting this Q&A. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Also, Aaron Chase, thanks for your question here. Where can I find a copy of the police report? They do have that on their website, and I seen it there. I can't tell you exactly how to fill it form out, but just know now they kind of changed it up. The last time I went to go look at it, it changed it up where I think they had put some kind of how I want to put that, some type of not really restrictions, but some little almost like contractual, just to be able to get the police report. But it's out there. It's publicly. They put out in the public. You can get off their website. It's there to be able to get the people get it all the time, and it showed me that police report. So you can get that police report from the Buckeye Police Department website. So of course, all right. So that's one avenue of doing it. But other than that, I don't know if you can go in person to get it, but definitely I know you can get it off the website. I already have Wendy here. Thanks so much for your question. So if this is staged, vehicle closed, etc., are you backtracking on the timeline? Well, no, I'm not backtracking on timeline. The timeline is the timeline. What I'm saying is Daniel had made a call at 9:28, and that's the time that's on his phone records. So that's something that's factual there as well. As in timeline, the first incident happened, according to my investigator, happened around 1:00 that day. The guy who last seen my son testified and said to the initial officer, that my son arrived at a well site around 9 and left at 9:15. Like I said, all indication that that was never true because of the phone records, and also the voicemail and the text message that Daniel sent. So those kind of things. So the timeline is correct. As in from the vehicle not being there. Again, the timeline is like this. Daniel was missing on June 23rd. Between June 23rd and date this vehicle showed up on July the 19th, we don't know what happened with that vehicle, where Daniel's located, but we know the vehicle wasn't there between June the 23rd and July the 19th when the rancher found it out there in that ravine. So whatever happened in between that time, that 11 additional miles that you were talking about, that definitely happened within them 30 days, almost 30 days. And when by the time the vehicle made it to this area here, the clothing sitting there, you name it, it's sitting there. But like I said, according to the rancher on the 19th, when he found the vehicle, he was there 2 to 3 days prior to that, and the vehicle wasn't there as well. So according to him, no, the vehicle wasn't there. So that's the timeline. No, I never backtracked on timeline. Only thing I'm backtracking on timeline is the man's story. You guys heard me saying the story on this Q&A. My son arrived at the well site roughly around 9 o'clock. He followed this guy into the desert, 1 mile west, 2 miles north. Those are the type things I had to say over and over again because I have an investigation. Some things I wasn't able to put out at the time. And, that's a story was given. That's a story that was in the report, the initial story in the report. So I had to, go with what's ever out there in the public and go ahead and continue to, talk about those things that was put out in the public. So now I was able to give you guys a little bit more details about that timeline based on Daniel's phone and get that time out. So you guys can understand why there's a lot of questions from me to the person who last saw my son, his story, why it didn't fit the phone record. Just like I tell you when the time comes when I be able to release more information about the young lady, for instance, why that don't fit things that we found. So once I be able to release a lot of this stuff, you guys can see a lot of what I'm talking about, how this department really screwed us up, how they just went with people's story without vetting the story, how they just put in a report fast and quick, how the same officer who allowed a woman to upload her own text messages into their system without even my son's phone hadn't been found yet, didn't even verify that what she's sending out on her text message for whatever reason he wanted in there is not on my son's phone. Phone hadn't even been found yet, according to the Buckeye Police Department. My son's vehicle didn't show up until almost over 30 days later. So there's a lot of questions you guys got to put in your head. You can go a lot of ways with that. And the reason why this one officer decided to do all of that, to do this whole timeline thing, he did a lot. You guys, that would come out as well. So what I'm saying is, yeah. So that's the thing. There's no timeline change other than just the point. I'm backtracking on timeline when it comes to his story. His story is not correct. You know what I'm saying? His initial take of what happened to my son is not accurate. It don't go with the actual facts of what Daniel did and where he was at the time that he said that he put Daniel in a certain place and time that Daniel wasn't located at. So, all right. Anybody else have any more questions? And you guys see all the stuff on here again. Every so often we try to the moderators try their best to get some of these things off of the chats. So y'all see some of this crazy stuff on the chats. You got to ignore that. Like I told you guys before, I've learned this a lot. One thing I learned it from CNN. They've spent a couple days with me out in the desert, and Sarah Seidner is one of the reporters, and I guess a lot of people who watch CNN know who she is. She and I was having a conversation about the death threats I had in the past, and she was like, pretty much you too or whatever, and not making light of it, but she kind of the way she explained to me, whenever you put yourself in the public eye, the crazies come out, right? So you really realize how many crazy people are in the United States and sick people are in the United States. So when you see things like what happens in the chats, some little crazy stuff in the chats, and people do certain things, they are sick people, and they come to like they get some type of sick pleasure off of other people's pain. You got a family member looking for their loved one, they want to cause more pain if they can. Don't know who you are. They just love to be able to do things like that for whatever reason. So you got to ignore that and understand that one thing I have learned, and that helped me, because when I talked to Sarah Seidner with that, her and the cameraman, I thought about it. I said, yeah, they're right. You put yourself in the public eye, y'all's gonna find the crazies. You're gonna find those who try to discredit you. You have all kind of stuff goes on. And you guys don't know, like I said, a lot of times you don't know half of the things that I have to go through mentally dealing with people all the time. So you guys don't know what happens in the background. I don't speak about them. I don't give them the pleasure a lot. I'm only doing this now because it's very disrespectful to you guys. Some of the things I saw in the chats is now. So, but it's disrespectful to you guys, and I was want to point it out to you guys so you can feel good and comfortable being in the chats, seeing certain things. And just know that there's a lot of crazy and sick people out there. So, and the only thing they got in life something wrong with their own life. So on that they can do, like the old saying said, misery love company. That's who they are. All right. So thank you also, Brianna. I see some new names here for being here. Yeah, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you, Brianna, for coming in for this Q&A. Those who are new here, like I said, and support as well. I really appreciate that. And if you guys, again, you're new here as well, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That really help with this algorithm again. And I really appreciate it if you guys can do that and keep this channel going. But I will say, I ran out of questions here. I don't see any more here. I went down the bottom, made it bottom to the chats. Again, I want to thank all those who have gave the super chats, and as well as those who came out to this Q&A. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Brianna. I see you say you shared. I really appreciate it. You sharing and everything. I really appreciate it. God bless you for that. Keeping this channel going. I really appreciate it. Showing your love, support, your wordings, just everything. I really appreciate you guys. For those who may be having some of that little fuzziness, I don't know. I look at one of my screens look clear. One of them look, the screen here looks kind of fuzzy. I just want to make sure you guys, if you have that on your end, you see the channel look kind of fuzzy. There's some kind of technical difficulty there. And I wish it would have cleared up, but I see on one screen it haven't. But hopefully it's better this evening. Okay. So if you guys can come back this evening at the Q&A prime time at 5:30 this evening, Arizona time, California time, that's a mountain time as well as Pacific time. And also that's 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast. If you guys are on the East Coast, please join in because I will be praying again for this fast and prayer for Daniel, the hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. And I will be closing that off. I'll be closing off the fast and prayer for Daniel. And but like I said, you want to keep going, but that's just because I'll be doing that at 4:30. You have more questions, please come back with your questions. I'd love to answer your questions and give you answers as I can. And I just want to say thank you guys for coming out to this Q&A and the support of my efforts, spreading the word. I really appreciate it. All that matters. God bless you. And definitely, we'll see if I have more comments. I see something here. But thank you. I have one more question. I would jump that question real quick here, and then I'll be getting out of here. So thank you so much, you guys. Is this a new petition or the same one that has been going on for months? It's the same petition. Like I said, that petition has grown. I've been doing some updates. I will be doing a new update as well. And so, like I said, that petition is a growing petition. So I'm sure that everybody who signed that petition from day one agree with me as I'm progressing in this whole effort to find Daniel. So definitely, yes, it's the same one. As you say, I've signed one for Daniel before. Is there another one or not? No, it's the same as that one. I'll just have one. And one thing I'm glad you said something, Aurora, and I noticed all of a sudden I need to go, but I want to make sure you guys understand one thing, and I need to put this out in the public, is that I never asked anybody to, even when I had my searches out there, I never asked any guys, anybody whomever they came to help me be a coordinator. I asked, first of all, I didn't give people titles; they gave themselves titles, but I did call them my coordinators to whatever. I never gave anybody any permission to gather anything on my behalf. So if you guys have the information that you need to share to me and my family, that you have suggested, whatever the case may be, come to me direct. I never have anybody who step in front of me and take any kind of information on my behalf. I found out later also, like in the searches out there, if I have searches again, there's no other website other than pleasehelpfinddaniel.com where you come sign in for the searches. I have missed a lot of people who signed in, and I was wondering why the searches was getting smaller and smaller with people coming out to the searches. I was not getting information. People were signing in to some other website and things like that, and it wasn't coming to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. So I lost a lot of information with you guys who came out to the searches. I wanted to be able to put a big mass thank you to all the volunteers who came out there and the search. I don't have that information because all the information was stolen from me. But just wanted to tell you guys from the future, nothing out there, nobody who's claiming to say, hey, you got information, give it to me and I'll give it to the family. That's not true. So don't take that. I do have a team that I trust very much. And even my team do not just go out and they'll redirect you to myself as well. My team, they are very trusted people. You guys, you probably can see them on that introduction there. They're part of not just the team members, they're also my board members for Daniel Robinson Foundation. Very trusted people. Very much would make sure that information would get to me, but they would not direct you to accept the information themselves just to give to me, that type deal. So, but if you guys gave it to them, they definitely will give it to me. But it's like I said, there's nobody going there claiming that I directed them to, or they my coordinator, or they're my this, and you need to give me information, and I get a family. Do not do that, because I never do get those information. So I just want to say that, come directly to me. I give you the avenues, whether it's the phone number. I know you guys probably been hitting that phone number and I haven't gotten back yet, but I'm working on it. And also the please help find Daniel at yahoo.com is those ways that you definitely can reach out to me directly, not like no other avenues. So I just want to put that in the public. And that's the reason why I missed out a lot of information was missed. A lot of people who I would like to thank out there who've been out there searching. A lot of that is missed because of that. So I had some things that was going on behind me I didn't know was going on in the past, and it caused me to lose a lot. I'll explain to you guys one day in the future how much I lost. But there's some of the things I want to put out, and I'm really glad, Aurora, you said that, because I kind of jogged my memory of some things that I want to say. And thank you guys again, like I said, for being here this morning on this Q&A. I hope I get to see you all this evening. God bless you. God bless you. And I really love you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next Q&A.